What's going on, YouTube family? Today we have a great video for you guys. We're going to be talking about 10 cars that you can buy for under $25,000 that will make you look like a baller on a budget. Now, my last video, I was talking about how everyone was car poor, how so many Americans were overextending themselves, trying to make themselves look rich and impress people that don't really care about them. And a lot of people said, hey, you should do a video about cars you can buy that make you look rich, but you're not spending a lot of money. So today, not only am I going to do that, but I'm going to tell you cars that are fun to drive, that you can customize, that are also reliable, that you can drive every single day. Because making one of these lists without having something you could drive every day is absolutely pointless. So let's get into it. Now, the first car on our baller on a budget list is a 2002 to 2010 Mercedes-Benz G500. Now, I always tell people stay with the G500. Don't go into the higher models because you're going to have more issues and more maintenance. Now, the platform itself with the drivetrain is absolutely bulletproof. That 5-liter V8 you can get in all the other Mercedes. If you blow one up, it's $500 to replace it. But not only that, they're extremely reliable, and the timeless design of the G-Wagon is getting more popular even as it ages. Plus, it has a huge aftermarket segment if you want to go off-roading, you want to do some cool stuff, camping. It's a very capable vehicle that could take you to basically the showroom or to actual camping outdoors and everything in between. On top of that, they have a lot of really cool aftermarket kits if you want to do like a 2017 update to make it look like the newer 63 Brabus edition. All these things are basically found on the G-Wagon. So that's one of my top picks for a baller on a budget vehicle. Now, next one on the list is a Maserati Gran Turismo. Now, Maserati gets a really bad rap because the Ghibli's trash and the Quattroporte's trash, but the Maserati Gran Turismo is actually the only good one in all their lineup because it is very reliable. I know that sounds hilarious, and a few people may disagree with me, but I've had 3 of these things in my rental company, and I put a bunch of miles on them, and I've had hardly any maintenance with each of these. The biggest thing is preventative maintenance. That's what you need to do. Change the oil, take care of the brakes, because the motor is Ferrari. It's a good V8. There's hardly any issues as long as you change your oil. It's a ZF transmission. The same ones in Mercedes, BMWs, and everything else. Don't have a lot of problems with it. Overall, the interior is beautiful. I love the Italian leather, the design, and outside the car is very, very sexy. Now, you can find these cars all over Facebook Marketplace for anywhere between the low teens to mid 20s. And you could literally look like you're rich for something that somebody paid probably close to $200,000 for these things when they first came out. So I believe the last one we had was a 2013 or 2014 with only 50,000 miles. It was blue with white interior. It looked really, really cool. And it had the Stradale kit on it. And I think we sold it for $18,000. So these are very easy to find. They're all over the internet. Just make sure you find one that hasn't been roached out or been used and abused, and you'll have yourself a fun, cool, luxury daily driver. And the first thing you got to do when you buy it is put on an exhaust, because that Ferrari V8 or that Italian V8 sounds absolutely amazing at 7,000 RPMs. Now, the next vehicle we're going to be talking about is a brand that's currently in hot water. It is a Jaguar XK8 and XKR. Now, this design is simply timeless. Whether you get from 1997 all the way to, I believe, 2015 or 16, I love the look of both of them. I actually like the older one more because it's more of a classic, sleek design showing Jaguar's intent to basically design a very muscular body. And these things are awesome. The drivability is great. I've had maybe 3 in my life. I had 2 XK8s and 1 XKR. I drove the heck out of these things and hardly had any problems. Once again, most of these cars, the only reason they have issues is because of lack of maintenance. But the 4-liter V8 is pretty much bulletproof. The 4.2, the same thing. Just make sure that you take care of your radiator and the coolant system with the supercharged model, or you will blow a head gasket. Now, the only thing I'm going to tell you on these Jaguars that is a major issue is the body panels. Now, I bought one with a broken hood, I think for $2,000 at auction. It was a 2002 convertible, and it costed me $2,000 for a hood. So any external panels cost a fortune. So if you're going to get one of these cars, make sure you have full coverage when it comes to the insurance wise. Now, I prefer the coupes. I had a coupe with an Arden wide body kit. I'll see if I can find a picture or video, but it comes with Ferrari taillights, a wide body, a different bumper. It looks absolutely cool. I used to shave off all the emblems, and I would go drive around the different Vegas casinos, pull up in valet, and nobody knew what that car was. It's something that looks very unique. It's very rare, especially if you get the coupes, because they're hardly ever seen. And the newer ones look even cooler. They look like basically a more affordable Aston Martin, which they pretty much are on the same platform. But great looking cars. I highly recommend if you're looking for something to be a baller on a budget, that should be on your list. Now, the next car we're going to be talking about is a very fun, timeless sports car. It is the Porsche 911 996 series. These are from the late 90s to early 2000s. These are one of the least desirable because they have the egg yolk or egg whatever type of headlight. Not a lot of people are a big fan of them. Plus, they had a carrier bearing issue, which you can see all over the internet. They're not that big of a deal to replace. Once you do that, you can pretty much drive these things till the wheels fall off. And with a body kit for a very few bucks, I think we paid $4,500 for a wide body GT23 RS. And I think we paid another $1,000 for carbon fiber wing. But all in with the body kit and the new headlights, which convert it from, I think, the 2000, or I think mine was a 2000. It converted to a 2019 headlight and tail light. And the thing looked awesome. Now, this is something that you can build, drive every day, and then little by little make it your own. So it's a great platform to start with. You can slowly do cool things to it as you grow. And once you get a little bit more money, you can do some of these facelifts or these wide body kits or these race car kits for not a lot of money. So these are one of my favorite ones to get, especially if you're looking at building something and growing into it, because a lot of people will go out and buy a 3 Series Beamer or a newer BMW. But in 3 years, the car looks old, the tech looks old, everything else. Porsches are pretty much timeless. That design looks the same all the way back then till it does today. Just a few of the interior mods. But if you do a few of the exterior mods with internal to bring it into 2025, you'll have a great car for a long time and also a decent resale value once you trick it out. Now, this one's kind of a weird one, and I know it's not in anybody else's list because I checked the internet, is the Chevy SSR. Now, when these things came out, they costed more than a Corvette. The older models came with a Corvette motor, which is an LS2, I believe, and they had a 6-speed manual. It was a convertible truck, and it looked absolutely awesome. It looks like that kind of classic hot rod type of style. Now, when these things came out, the whole retro phase was going on in the early 2000s, and so they thought these things would be flying off the shelf. But unfortunately, like I said, they costed more than a Corvette. So more people would say, well, it's got the same motor, but doesn't handle the same. I'm going to buy a Corvette. And little by little, these things basically didn't sell, and Chevy canceled them. Now, these models were made in very limited production, so driving around somewhere, you don't really get to see them that often. And so to have an LS 6-speed car with a convertible top that's something that you can drive every day, that's dependable, but also pick up your groceries in the back, is an all-around winner to me. And obviously the LS platform is probably one of the best that's ever made, and there are so many aftermarket accessories to do crazy things to these things. I've seen people literally swap the drivetrain from Cadillacs into them to make them all-wheel drive, but it's a very cool-looking car for not a lot of money. I had one at my dealership, and I remember we used to go to valet at casinos and other places here in Las Vegas, and nobody knew the cost of the vehicle. Even when I showed my father one, I was like, Dad, how much do you think this thing costs? He's like, oh, this thing's expensive. It's probably $50,000, $60,000. I bought that car for, I believe, $18,000 back in like 2000 and probably 15 or 16. Today, all over Facebook Marketplace, you could buy these cars close for between anywhere from maybe the low teens. I see one here in Vegas for $13K, all the way up to like the low 20s with a low mileage, really clean model. So it's something that if you want to be different, have the only one out there, but have a truck that's still capable to pick up stuff, but have a fun hot rod, this is the best of both worlds, and it's something completely different that I guarantee you not a lot of people are going to have. Now, the next car on this list has a special place in my heart. This is the Mercedes SL 500 and SL 550. These are from 2003 to, I believe, 2015 or 16. Now, this to me is the best daily driver luxury car that you could possibly own. Now, the drivetrain is absolutely bulletproof. It's the same thing as the G-Wagon. It's the same V8, same transmission. If anything blows up a couple $100, you can replace it. Now, there is one fatal flaw on the older models. That is the ABC, the active body control. These things tended to fail over time, and they had a big TSB about them, and the parts were extremely expensive, $2,000 to $3,000 to replace it. But what a lot of people don't know is back then, Mercedes was the only company that would sell it. Now there are so many aftermarket companies that sell just the accumulators or just the brackets or just the actual solenoids, and you could fix it for pennies on the dollar compared to what it was back in the day. Now, I purchased one of these not too long ago, and I'm actually looking at getting another one here in a little bit. I believe it was a 2010, and it had, I think 60,000 miles, but it was on the floor, and we paid $6,000 for it at the auction because nobody didn't want to spend the money for the actual active body control. Now, this to me is the best daily driver that you could possibly get. It's a hardtop convertible. It's the naturally aspirated V8, which is over 300 something horsepower. Do not get the supercharged V8 or the V12 because you will have nothing but problems. And if something breaks, you're pretty much screwed. But that 5-liter V8 is in every single V8 model that you have on Mercedes. It's very easy to swap, it's very easy to find, and even easier to rebuild if you decide to go that route. Also, the body style is timeless on that car, and if you want to do something cool, there are a lot of really nice body kits for that to kind of update the interior, as well as Android screens to update the interior as well, so you can have Apple CarPlay, touchscreen, all those other fun things. If you're looking for a great car for under $10,000, you should definitely look at an SL500. As long as the maintenance and the body is clean, you should be all right. If the active body control is not that bad, make sure you look up the parts before you buy it. And if you can get yourself a smoking deal, I'd highly recommend it. Now, the next car on our list is pretty hard to find, but they are out there. There are 2 for sale here in Vegas and quite a few I saw in LA, is a Bentley Arnage. Now, I had a 2001 red label that I bought for next to nothing. I think I paid $13,000 for it. It had a check engine light. It wouldn't pass smog. The guy took it to the Rolls-Royce dealership here, and they wanted to charge him, I believe it was $9,000 to fix the vehicle. He winded up basically just giving it away for nothing. And I bought this, I believe, in 2017 or 18. I remember replacing a intake manifold gasket, a few vacuum lines, and then it passed smog perfectly. It had like maybe 78,000 miles. I drove it around for about a year, and then I wound up selling it. Today, you could find one running and driving with no issues for under $25,000. If you have one that has maybe a little bit more issues or has some cosmetic problems, you could find those in the low to high teens. So if you're a little bit mechanically capable, I recommend getting one of those because they're really not that hard to work on. It's just the parts that cost a lot. But now there's so many aftermarket manufacturers building these things because they're starting to become popular, and there's forums all over the internet because there's a lot of YouTubers that are buying these things now and fixing them up. And the body style is simply timeless. If you drive a 2000 or even a 99 into any of these dealerships or even to any of these casinos here in Vegas and pull into valet, they will treat you like a rock star because even today it still looks expensive. The interiors are absolutely beautiful, and believe it or not, some schmuck probably paid $250,000 for that thing back in the day when it first came out. I believe mine was a red label, so it had this really cool brushed aluminum dash. It had all these extra features, but you could find these things quite a bit online. So Bentley Arnage is definitely a car if you want to be a baller on a budget. Now, the next car on this list is probably the most controversial. It is the Lexus SC430. Now, people either love these cars or absolutely hate them, but either way, they're made in a limited quantity. They're very cool looking convertibles, especially if you can get them with the blocked wheels. There are a few models that had those, and if you can get one in really good condition. Now, here in Vegas, just looking around, I found 3 of these things here for sale. 2 are absolutely roached out, but one is a cream puff, and they want $8,000 for it. And I think it's got 90,000 miles, and it's the bright red interior with the block monologue wheels, which looks absolutely beautiful. Now, the reason why I like these is because just like the SL, it is a hardtop convertible. It is a front wheel drive V8. The drivetrain is absolutely bulletproof. I've seen people put 300 and something plus thousand miles on these cars, and they just don't give up. The only downfall with these things is you have to be careful with the convertible top, and more importantly, the navigation is so outdated, it looks horrendous when you open it up, so just leave it closed. But besides that, the cars are great. It looks expensive. If you get one that's clean and do a few modern details to it, there are some body kits out there for those vehicles. It makes them look extremely sharp, and people have no idea that you spent less than $10,000 on a luxury convertible that just looks awesome. And the biggest thing is reliability, because out of all these lists, most of these cars you can literally pick up, fix, and drive around all over the place and not have a lot of issues. And that's probably the most important thing about this particular Lexus. All right, number 2 on this list is definitely an odd duck. It is a Toyota Century. Now, these are a little bit harder to find. You can see them probably more on the West Coast than the East Coast, but these cars were being imported from Japan all the time. I remember seeing these things as low as $8,000 in 2019, and now they've gone up a little bit, but they're starting to come back down. You could see good representation of these things anywhere from the high teens to the mid-20s. These are Toyota's luxury vehicle that basically rivals Rolls-Royce. Some of the models had a V12 The build quality is absolutely amazing. The attention to detail. The one that my friend has here in Vegas, it's got the lace curtains all the way around the side, the doilies on the seats. It's got a reclining massaging seat in the back. It's just a beautiful car. If you roll up to any type of car show or any type of event, people are looking at it because they can't figure out what it is. Is it a Rolls Royce? Is it a Bentley? Is it a Cadillac? What the hell is it? No, it's a Toyota Century that has a V12. I believe the badge is like almost like the old MR2s with the fire chicken on it. So people can't tell what it actually is. Now, I know they make a V8 model and the V12. I would probably get the V12 model just because to have a V12 Toyota would be absolutely insane. But everything I've heard about these cars is just nothing but good things. I saw one in LA at a car show. He bought it, I believe, for $8,000. The bottom end was rusted a little bit. He shipped it over, did a wide body kit, and did some sort of Rolls-Royce grill that they put on him in Japan. And that had to be the cleanest Toyota I've ever seen in my life. It had 23 or 24-inch block wheels. It was bagged. It was on the floor. But the outside was pristine. The inside was this really cool whitish tan leather with this lace curtains everywhere. I can't explain it. You have to see them online. I'll see if I can put up a video of them. But they're just beautiful cars for the money. So if you want to drive something unique and very different, and more than likely you'll be the only one at the car show with this vehicle, a Toyota Century will definitely be your baller on a budget car. Now, before we get to number one, please in the comment sections, put your ideas for a baller on a budget car. Has to be under $25,000, has to be somewhat reliable, has to be something they can customize, but more importantly, has to be something that will turn heads, because at the end of the day, this is why most of these people get themselves into debt, because they want to look rich, they want to impress people that don't like them or don't even know them, and that's the point of this video. Now, the very last car that I'm going to do is probably going to be a little controversial, but hear me out because I think you guys are going to agree with me. The last one is the actual Plymouth Prowler. If you want a cool car for under $25,000, I believe the Plymouth Prowler is probably the top of the list. Here are a few reasons why. It is made in extremely low quantities. I can almost guarantee you, if you pull up to any casino, any valet, any party, any car show, you are probably going to be the only Prowler there. The design is simply timeless. When you drive that car anywhere in town, I had one here in Vegas just for fun. We bought, I think I had a salvage title. We paid 12 grand for it. Everywhere we would go, people would stop and look at it. They couldn't figure out what the hell it was. Old people loved it. Young people loved it. People that weren't even car people loved it. My girlfriend looked at it, laughed, and said, "What the hell is this?" It appeals to everybody. It draws attention. It's just what the Prowler does. Now, one of the cool things about it is the 3.5 liter V6 in the older models. As long as you change the oil and do the maintenance on it, you could drive them. There's guys on YouTube that have 200,000 plus miles on their Prowlers, and they drive the hell out of them. But unfortunately, a lot of these cars are owned by older guys, boomers if you want to call them that, and they love the hot rods, they love the unique look, but they don't drive them. A lot of the other ones that we've purchased through the years have 5, 6, 7,000 miles. The ones, I'm sure, if you get on Facebook Marketplace and look right now, Plymouth Prowlers under $25,000, you're going to see a lot of them with under 10,000 miles. It blows my mind. But you can get something that was probably equivalent to paying $80,000 in yesterday's money today for less than 25,000 bucks. And something you could drive every day, go to car shows, customize it, make it unique, and be the only one, like I said, at car shows and everything else that will stand out. Now, I know this may not be your cup of tea for everybody, but that's the purpose of this video, is to show that there's something out there for everybody, whether it's a sports car, luxury car, crazy SUV, crazy luxury vehicle. There's something there that can make you look like a baller for a very limited dollar amount. So I love doing these type of videos because not only am I giving you my peek on what I think is a cool car, but then also talking about the resale value, the way they customize it and everything else, because a lot of the videos I saw that were top 10 cars, they just told you the cars, but they sucked in maintenance, they sucked in dependability. Oh, and the best thing is, all those cars that I told you about, 90% of them banks will finance. Some of the banks you'll have to go with subprime financing because of the older models or the higher miles, but all those cars are financeable because they're new enough to do them. So if you work with your credit union or your state bank, they will finance these cars for you. And that's a great thing, unless you buy salvage and you have to go to a special bank. But I guarantee you, all these cars that you find, not only could you buy them and fix them up and make them look cool for under $25,000, but more importantly, drive them every day and snap necks while you do it. But anyways, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, leave in the comment section below if you think I've missed any type of car. Do you have a baller on a budget recommendation that you think everybody needs to know about? Chime in down there, and we'll see you guys next video.